Hey guys, Mano here. Welcome to the shop. I have a really cool motorcycle to talk about today. No, not these motorcycles. Definitely not these three. And, well, it's not this one either. Maybe this one in a future video. But the one I really want to talk about with you is this one. This is a Kawasaki KE125. It's not every day that we get to see a KE125 in running condition, especially here where I'm from. And we did a few things to this one because a few days ago, or should I say a few weeks ago, I held an event and there were games and the owner of this bike won a prize for me. Anyway, in this video we will talk about this bike, the KE125, what it offers, why it's amazing, and we'll discuss the things that we also did to this one. Stick around because this is a good one. Alright, so what is the KE125? Well, it is a dual sport made by Kawasaki, produced during the mid-1970s up to the mid-1980s. Well, it depends also on the market, but generally it is made from 1975 all the way to 1985. Now, it is powered by a two-stroke single-cylinder air-cooled carbureted engine displacing at 123 cc. Power output is somewhere around 13 horsepower. Transmission is 5-speed for the earlier models, and the one that we have here, this is an 83, has a 6-speed manual transmission. Now, the ignition system also depends on its version. The earlier models had the primitive contact point ignition system, while this one has a CDI. Now, housing this two-stroke engine is a steel tubular frame, as you can see here. It is made of steel, of course. It's easy to fix, and for some reason, why is it that old motorcycle frames tend to last longer? Look at this one. It barely has any rust compared to newer models that just rust the moment it gets out of the showroom. Anyway, for suspension, you get telescopic front forks and twin shocks at the back. And for brakes, it's drum for the front and, of course, drum also at the rear. Now, this bike weighs around 100 kilograms, which is amazing. And the stock wheels are 21-inch for the front and 18 at the back. Basically, standard-sized dirt bike tires. Now, the fuel tank is around 8 to 9 liters, again, depending on the version or the year. In short, it is basically a zippy and lightweight two-stroke enduro motorcycle that can be used on the road because, well, it is a dual sport. It has turn signals, it has mirrors, it has blinkers, it has passenger pegs, it has a horn, and so on and so forth. Now, why was it popular back in the day? And why is it sought after even up to this day? The KE125 was designed to be street legal and also can be raced on the weekends. Well, if it depends. If you're a young guy during that time and then you only had one motorcycle, then this would probably be your go-to, your gem, your toy, your commuter, your everything basically. And then this bike went head-to-head with the Yamaha DT125 and, of course, Honda's fabled XL125S and also its racing version, the R, and also a even rarer dual sport from that time, namely the Suzuki TS125. Now, I would love to feature that bike here in the channel. But anyway, what made the KE125 awesome? Well, it is easy to handle. It is super light, it has a very low seat height, and back in the day, parts were cheap and this bike was easy to repair. Sadly, parts for this bike are hard to find these days. Now, it wasn't a high-performance race bike, but it was reliable, fun, and forgiving. Now, at this day and age, finding a Kawasaki KE125 is pretty hard. Well, it depends on where you're located. Now, having a bike like this in the shop, really drove me to make this video. Because why? Because we rarely see this one here. Although, yeah, we know that there are some around, in somebody's backyard, but seeing one in this condition, in running condition, is a treat for us. And it just so happens that the owner of this bike won a mini time attack race that I organized, over the weekend in a big Supermoto gathering that I hosted here in my gas station. And then this guy won. And then the prize was, I'm going to convert your bike to a Supermoto. And that's why we have it here. So anyway, what did we do? Well, of course, we turned it into a Supermoto. As you can see, it's no longer rolling on the 21 and 18-inch wheels. It has 17s for the front and the rear. Let's say you have a KE125 in your shop or in your house or garage or whatever, and you're thinking of doing this project. I'm gonna tell you all the parts that you need to do this. All right, so for the wheels, again, 17-inch front and rear. The front is a 300 by 17 with 36 spokes. For the rear, it is 3.5 by 17 with 36 spokes. Now, if you notice, this bike has a disc brake up front. That's because the owner of this bike changed the entire front end. The triple clamps, the forks, the hub is actually from a KLX 150, and they did some modifications to make the steering stem fit the frame properly. So we're using this one. Now for the rear, well, we're still using the stock drum rear hub, and we laced them to the 17-inch wheels. Now for tires, the front is a 110 by 70/17, while the rear tire is a 130/70/17. Right, and as you can see, the clearances are very tight, so we managed to fit this without doing anything else to the bike, without even moving the chain or cutting anything. It's a direct fit, but you have to do the truing and alignment of this wheel on the bike to get it dead center in the chassis. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking, why would you do this? Because, why would you do a Supermoto build on a vintage motorcycle like this KE125? Because, well, why not? The owner wanted to. I know this bike is missing a few things here and there. It could use like a shorter front fender, side covers and stuff, have that seat stitched and so on and so forth. But, this is, just to show to you what are the possibilities of a KE125. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you do, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, see you next time. Bye.